Hello students, welcome back to Math Warm-Up, Week 5, Day 2, page 17. Problem number 1. Use a centimeter ruler to measure the size of the rectangle. Label the length of each side. Okay, so we need to use a ruler to measure all four sides. And another key information here, we're going to measure it, is a unit in centimeters. Okay, so remember I have a ruler here, and the ruler, some ruler have centimeters on one side and they have inches on the other side. Okay, so there's two units to measure a line, object. On this problem, we're going to use centimeters. Okay, we're not going to use inches. Now I'm working here on the computer, and on the computer is a little bit tricky to measure objects or shapes with a ruler, because you can zoom in, zoom out, and the size can change. However, I did measure the rectangle in my book. I use a ruler and I measure it, and it gave me the same measurements that I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so I'm going to use a ruler, and remember, to use a ruler we need to place the line of the zero where it starts. Okay, and then we go all the way to the next line, and as you can see, that's 2 centimeters. Okay, so I'm going to change this, put it over there, and then this one is 2 centimeters. But you also know one rule of the rectangle is that opposite sides are the same. That means this side and this side are exactly the same. If this one is 2 centimeters, that means this one is also 2 centimeters. Now let's measure the other two sides. Okay, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna align the line of the zero with the shape and then go all the way up until I see the next line, which is 4. Okay, so I'm gonna take this off over here, and this one is 4 centimeters. And again, the same rule, opposite sides are the same. So this one is also 4 centimeters. So we're done. Well, not yet. If you can see here, we have 2 questions. All of this that we've done so far is just trying to figure out the first part of the problem. Okay, so the first question is, what is the perimeter? Now, in order to find the perimeter, we have to add all sizes. So all sides, I'm sorry, because the perimeter is the distance around the shape. So I'm going to add this 4 and this 4, that's 8, and then this 2 and this 2, that is 4, and then I'm going to add those 2. 8 plus 4 equals 12, right? So I have here 12 centimeters as the perimeter. Then it says, what is the area? The area is all of the inside of a shape. Okay, all of this. How do you find the area? You have to use the formula, which is area equals length times width. Here in my shape, the length is 4 times, and the width is 2. So area equals 4 times 2 equals 8. So the area equals 8. And there you have it. Problem number 2. The shaded model below represents a decimal. Then it says, write the value shown by the models 2 ways, as a decimal and in words. The first thing we need to notice is that this is divided into 100 equal parts. Okay, there's 10 here, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay, the second thing we need to notice is how many are shaded. Okay, so we're gonna change this color, so let me erase this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 tenths, okay? 8 tenths means it's 80. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that is a 7, okay? 7 ones. So here we have 87 out of 100, okay? Remember, there are 100 equal parts, okay? So how do we write that in a decimal, okay? So we have 87 hundredths. So that will be 87 hundredths. And how do we write that in words? And in words will be 87 hundredths. Okay, and I wrote it over here just in case you didn't understand my letter. Okay, so 87 hundredths. Problem number 3. Cherrapunji, India received 498 inches of rain in 2010. Quibdó, Colombia received 353 inches of rain that year. Round the rain amounts to the given place. And then we have a table. The table have locations, and it says Cherrapunji and Quibdó, and then it says round to the nearest 100, and the next column says round to the nearest 10. So the first thing I'm going to do is divide into 4 parts, okay, to try to organize it. And I'm going to work on the first part with Cherrapunji. Cherrapunji was 498 inches. And on the next part, I'm going to work with Quibdó, which is 353 inches of rain. Now, I'm going to round to the nearest 100 first. In order to do that, I need to find the superhero. The superhero is the digit that is on the place that we're going to round. In this case, the 100 place. So we have here the superhero, and the next digit is the villain, okay? The villain is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. That means the superhero goes 1 up. So it's 9, so the superhero goes from 4 to 5. The villain goes away, and the friend of the villain also goes away. So 500, okay? And I'm gonna do the same thing with Quibdó, which is 353. I'm gonna find the superhero in the 100th place, and the villain is right next to it. The villain is also a 5, so that means the superhero goes 1 up. So that will be 4, 5, which is the villain, goes away, and 3, the friend of the villain, also goes away. So that will be 400. Okay, now I'm gonna do the same thing, but to the nearest 10. I'm gonna write the numbers again: 498 and 353, and I'm gonna round first to the nearest 100. I'm sorry, I did that. So I'm gonna round now to the nearest 10, okay? And it's the same way. We're gonna find the superhero, and the superhero, it should be in the 10th place. So ones, 10 place, and the A will be the villain, okay? And we apply the same rule. If remember, if it's a 5, if the villain is a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, the superhero goes 1 up, okay? If the villain is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, the superhero stays the same. In this case, an 8, so the villain goes 1 up. That means it's 10. Okay, the superhero, I'm sorry, is 10. The villain goes away, and the friend of the superhero stays the same. But we have something here. Can we have a 10 in one place? No, we can't, right? So what do? We regroup, okay? So we send this one to the 4, okay? And that 4 is going to turn into 5, 0, 0, okay? So that will be 500. And now let's do the same thing with Quibdó. 353. Same place, same place as the superhero, and this will be the villain, okay? The villain is weak, he's at 3, so it doesn't make the superhero go 1 up, it stays the same, so that will be 5. The villain goes away, and the friend of the superhero stays the same, and that will be 350. And there you have it. Problem number 4. Kennedy Elementary students donated new and used books to a book drive. Altogether, they collected 505 books. So far, 367 of those books have been given to the Children's Hospital. How many books, and it's going to be represented by the letter B, are left to be delivered to the other locations? Use the strip diagram to model the problem, then solve. Okay, so we have that they donated 505 books, okay? That is gonna be our total, okay? Out of that, 367 were given away to the Children's Hospital, okay? So we're gonna use the strip diagram. Remember, we have 2 parts, okay, in the strip diagram. If you can see, one is a whole, okay, and that should be our total. And the second one is also the same as the total, but is divided, okay, or it has 2 parts. So what I'm gonna do here is write the total, which is gonna be here on the top. So 505, okay, and then we know that they already gave away 367, okay? So I'm gonna write here 367. And what I need to find is how many books are left to be delivered. And that is gonna be represented by a B. So if I already delivered 367, so this part, the part that I don't know, should be the amount of books that are left. And that is, again, it's going to be represented by a B, okay? Or we can do it this way and just represent, write the B. All right? So here we have a subtraction, okay? Remember in a strip diagram, if we add those two, okay, or how many parts are at the bottom, if we add all of those parts, it has to be the same as this one on the top, okay? We don't have that bottom part, but what if we, from the total, we take away this part, then whatever's left is this part. So that means it's a subtraction. So 505, okay, minus 367, okay? So I have 5, I'm gonna take away 7. I can't do that, okay? So we have to regroup. So this one is gonna ask for more to the 0. There's nothing here either, so it's gonna ask for the hundredths place, okay? So this one turns into a 4, and this one turns into a 10, okay? And then the 10 turns into a 9. I'm sorry, I'm writing on top of the week 5. And then this one turns into 15. Now, 15 take away 7, that's 8. I have 9 now, right here. I'm gonna take away 6, so that's 3. And then I have 4, I'm gonna take away 3, that's 1, okay? So I'm gonna erase this over here, the B, and I'm gonna write 138. And the answer will be 138. However, I want you to check your work, okay? And there's one way to check your work. And is, like I told you before, if I add those two, should be the same as 505. So let's do that really quickly. And I'm gonna do it over here. So 367 plus 138, 7 plus 8, that's 15, okay? Carry the 1, 6 plus 3, that's 9, and 1, 10. I cannot have 2 digits in one place, so carry the 1. 3 plus 1 is 4, and 1 is 5. So we have the same number, so this is my correct answer. Problem number 5. A geometric drawing is shown. Identify the parts. We have rays, line, acute angle, and obtuse angle. Okay, so we have that a ray is a portion of a line which has one endpoint and extends forever in one direction. Okay, so that means that the endpoints are the letters that are represented there with a point, and when it says extends in one direction, that means the arrow, that it has no ending. Okay, these 3 arrows. So a ray could be one start on the endpoint E and then go all the way up. Okay, and the way I'm going to represent this is I'm going to draw the endpoint in the line, and then I'm going to represent the extends to that direction with an arrow. Okay, so I'm going to say E because that's the endpoint, but I'm also going to write here G because G is inside that ray, but it tells me in what direction I'm going. Okay, so that's very important. So I'm going to do the next one, and I'm probably going to start on E and then go all to F. Okay, so I'm going to represent it that way. So I'm going to say E and F. Okay, and I'm going to let you do the next one. So pause the video and see if you can find a third ray. Okay, and then write it on your paper. And yes, the other one will be ED. Okay, and those are the 3 rays that we can find in there. All right. Then we have acute angle and obtuse angle. Remember that acute angle are angles that are less than 90 degrees, which is a right angle, and obtuse angles are greater than 90 degrees, which is a right angle. And to help me with this, I have this line over here that is going to help me make a right angle to see if it's less or greater than. Okay, so I'm going to check the drawing, and I can see that, remember, the angle is the space between 2 lines that connect, and here we have one angle and here we have another angle. Okay, so I'm going to put my line right on E. Okay, and I can see that this line, okay, from this line, or this angle from this line to this line, is less than 90 degrees. 90 degrees will be here. Okay, so it will be less. Okay, so the way to write this is I'm gonna do the angle symbol, and then that's gonna be GEF. GEF. And the same, we can represent that same angle using the same letters but in the other way. So like this. FEG. FEG. Okay, now we're going to identify the obtuse angle. Now the other angle that I raised was right here. Okay, and you can say, well, but that's also an acute angle because it's on this side of the 90 degrees. That's not entirely true, because if you see the green angle that are represented with green start on this line, this angle starts on this line. So here the 90 degrees will be on this side. Okay, and if you can see, this one goes up to 90 degrees and then keeps going. So that angle is greater than 90 degrees. And let me erase this so we don't get confused. And the way to represent that angle, again, we do draw the symbol for angle, and it's going to be GEV, GEV, and you know how to represent the other angle. So pause the video, do it, and then play it. All right, and the other way to represent that same angle, same thing, we draw the symbol for angles, and this time we're going to start with the DEG. Okay, why not write it like this? Why not write DGE? Because then you're telling me that starts on D, goes to G, and then to E. So that's a different shape that we're doing. So even though we can start on G and D in this case, we have to have E in the middle.